So this is what was in our basement. Tons and tons and tons of stuff. These are all our cabinets. We used to have cars in this garage. Very proud of that, by the way. But now we've got rusted, wet, moldy basement filled with stuff that is now in our garage, and we got to dig through it over weeks and months, most likely. Don't put stuff in the basement. Click. Take who knows.
Hi.
Hi.
Should we introduce our special guest for today?
The sump pump.
This is our brand new sump pump.
Yeah, for like $200 or $300 or $400. We procrastinated and did not buy a new sump pump. As I've told people just recently, you should replace your sump pump every 5 to 7 years. So we didn't do it. And we landed in Boston after a wonderful holiday and working trip in Europe, and got a barrage of texts and emails and voicemails and videos and still pictures of lots of water where we're sitting because our friend the sump pump failed. I don't know either, but this is bad.
I don't know how they're gonna get. I don't know if there's a plunger or what. It's up to halfway up my leg, almost.
Well,
The computer over there.
it smells moldy too.
Yeah.
Hey, that printer's going to be a loss.
It's slimy. It's real slippery.
That's a printer.
There's I think the bed is okay.
Oh. Okay.
So thank goodness the house has got $25,000 insurance for a failed sump pump, or this would be all out of our pocket.
By the way, most homeowner policies do not cover flooded basements by sump pump failure. David's pulling stuff out of the little pieces of stuff that got stuck in the sump pump well. There's some vinyl flooring and rocks and whatnot.
And rocks. Maybe that's why the sump pump failed. It got rocks in it.
Stuff got stuck in it.
So, welcome to our trauma.
So another piece of advice would be to check your insurance policy. Most companies like mine will let you add a rider. My insurance person told me that the normal rider for sump pump failure is $5,000. And because I was paranoid about it when I bought my homeowner's policy, I asked him how much can I bump that up to, and he said $25,000 is the max. So that's what I added on my policy. It did add a considerable amount to the cost of the policy, but we are really glad that we did this. There's water coming out that pipe from the drain along this wall, but there's nothing coming out this pipe. Do you see? Do you see anything coming out?
So this has caused some serious stress. When we landed in Boston, we had these tickets. We found $450 tickets for our vacation in Europe, which ended up being work and vacation. wild guess in June of last year, and I ended up needing to go to Georgia on business immediately after the coming back from Europe. So I actually didn't take the last leg of the trip, which, thank you to our friends at a very major carrier in the United States, screwed us over and said, we're going to give you first class tickets to Europe. And great, $200, what a deal. And then they baited and switched us, and we now have a first class ticket from Boston to Cincinnati, which I wasn't going to take.
So another piece of advice, be very careful if you get an email from your carrier that says, hey, you can get an upgrade on your ticket.
Read
it real careful.
Print. Very small print. Because she called immediately after and they say, oh, sorry, that's non-refundable. So we kind of got screwed, but it wasn't that big of a screw, and it kind of sucked. And it was one of the stresses that we dealt with recently.
Hi y'all. Don't know if you can hear me very well. It's pretty loud with all the fans going. But things are drying out. There's still wet patches everywhere. Let's see. All of the drywall had to be cut within 2 feet of the floor to expose the inside of the walls so that they could dry them out thoroughly, because some mold was found when they pulled out the cabinets. They say that my water heater and my furnace are okay. My freezer is okay, so that wasn't lost. Here's the tool closet. You can't really see any water lines anywhere. I thought I could see a water line on the wall, but you can't really see anything. We figured it came up about 8 inches. Still a little bit there that they'll have to clean out. And we did decide late yesterday to replace the sump pump because it was turning on and off and not draining water efficiently. When he pulled out the sump pump, he found that there were the pipe, that PVC pipe is brand new too. The PVC pipe had cracked. So not only was the sump pump not good, it was rusty. There was some holes from the rust eating through it. The PVC pipe going to it also had cracks, so that was problems. It looks like our big printer is okay because it was up high enough. Everything that's in the bottom drawer of my filing cabinet is a loss. It's all soaked. I'll clean that out later. But it looks like my cutting table is okay. The water did come up probably to about here, but it didn't get in any of the fabric that was and other things that were sitting here. And the underneath looks pretty good. So they just piled everything on top of the table. And the light's not working. Okay, the breaker tripped again because we've got all these fans. They tried to plug them into different circuits. So the plumber company that did the liner on my main line out to the street came in yesterday and checked that. That is fine, but it looks like there's a clog on this line. I'm going to have to get a different type of plumber in to check this line because he thinks there's a collapse somewhere inside the cement.
So we have had some conflict between the two of us because, we're upset. Oh, I dumped this problem on Leah because I just went to work in Georgia and she came home to 7 inches of water in her basement.
So David was feeling pretty bad about going to Georgia, and then my flight got delayed and delayed. The gate got changed. I finally got on the plane, and then there's a mechanical issue.
Right.
So getting back home was very difficult, but fortunately we have a wonderful friend who owns a restoration business who deals with basement flooding all the time. So when we got those texts and messages and emails and videos and everything, we immediately called him. He was able to come to our house within the hour.
He got there before Leah got home. Plus my son came over. Plus a friend came over. So we had 3 people here working the issue before either of us even got here. We've got the little, not alarm, but coded doorknob.
So all we had to do was give them the
our
code. So they got in, they got the water out of the basement, and started with the fans drying it out, all before I got home. So I can't figure out how to do just an audio recording on my phone, so I'm going to do this little video while I'm watching the video of David vacuuming up water that we found one morning about a month after we started restoring the basement. We had already started painting the tree, as you can see here, and it was very disheartening to find water on the floor and not know where in the world it's coming from. We couldn't figure it out. It was just in the middle of the floor. It wasn't coming from any of the walls. You can see in the video I go around to show you the different walls, and it was just so frustrating because we had already started painting this beautiful tree, which was David's really great idea. And you can see that it's going to the drain in the laundry room there. It's not coming from the drain. So it was just really hard, and to figure out, we finally figured out that it was coming from the furnace. We needed to put some more Freon in the air conditioning unit, and that stopped this from happening. But while this was happening, it was really frustrating.
So all along here, including above the sump pump, were basement cabinets filled with stuff. On the other side of the room were basement cabinets filled with stuff. Leah's a master seamstress, and lots of things that she had made over the years, beautiful costumes and such.
So here's some before pictures that Ken can put up over on the other side of David.
And here's the after pictures, which you obviously can't see at this distance, but hopefully Ken can pop them in and populate the video.
So this is what we lost, and we are going to rebuild it. But in between all that, dealing with the stress is really difficult. I mean, especially after coming off of a wonderful vacation where we had many wonderful experiences, meeting wonderful people, and hopefully Ken will take all the videos that we did of that vacation and put it into a really great episode for here. But this has been stressful.
And we've tried to not lash out at each other. We have not been completely successful in that. And there's been some, things we shouldn't have said and feelings that we shouldn't have felt, but it's life.
Translation. Gee, honey, I had no idea until I came home what a horrible situation you had to handle all by yourself. I am so amazed at how you kept it together, and I am so sorry that the shock of what I saw in that basement when I finally got home to see it for myself, that I said some hurtful things to you, and I am so sorry. I can't imagine what it took for you to hold it together and to do what you had to do while I couldn't help you. Thank you, and I love you.
So good luck that this never happens to you. Replace your sump pump about every 5 years. The ones you buy at the big box stores are pretty inexpensive because they're cheap and they don't last a long time. So for a few $100s, well less than $1,000, depending on where you live, just put on your calendar or your automatic calendar on your computer, every 5 years, replace your sump pump. If it needs it or not, you don't want to deal with this.
Yeah.
Bye. Well, we didn't make it by August 8th, but the basement is just about done. Notice our tree. The infamous sump pump in the corner is now in the sky. Ta-da! We have a closet that is all organized. We have Leah's sewing area with her portion of the tree on the floor. There's the tree down there. We have the pantry complete with waterfall. And what used to be the downstairs guest quarters is now our storage closet, new and improved, with a kind of nifty floor in here. And I wish you could smell it. The cedar closet is awesome. With all the costumes and dresses and butterfly wings and out of season clothes. So we're getting there. Our studio and party room is back.
Yay! If you like that video, give us a thumbs up right down here. Subscribe button is over here in the right hand of your screen. If you want to watch another video, it's over this way.